Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. It feels like we're watching something truly special unfold in Dallas right now. Dak Prescott, the quarterback who has seen just about every kind of scrutiny imaginable, is quietly, or maybe not so quietly anymore, rewriting the narrative about what kind of player he is. After the Cowboys' dominant 44-22 victory over the Washington Commanders in Week 7, Prescott didn't just add another win to the column. He joined an elite list, a place reserved for legends. With his fourth straight game throwing at least 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, Prescott became only the 6th quarterback in NFL history to accomplish that feat. Think about that for a second. 6 quarterbacks, out of the thousands who've played in the league. And the names he's now mentioned alongside? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Russell Wilson. That's not just impressive company. That's Mount Rushmore territory. When you step back and really digest what Prescott is doing this season, you realize it's more than just statistics. It's about command, confidence, and precision. In Sunday's win, Dak completed 21 of his 30 passes for 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 mistakes. No risky throws, no desperate heaves into double coverage, no panic under pressure. It was surgical. Every pass had purpose. Every read came with poise. It was the kind of game that reminds you why Dallas invested in him and why, for all the criticism he's faced over the years, Prescott has always been that steady hand capable of carrying this franchise. You could see it from the first drive. Dak was in rhythm. The footwork was crisp, the timing perfect, and the chemistry with his receivers was humming like a well-oiled machine. CeeDee Lamb once again looked like a top 5 receiver in football, drawing coverage that Dak dissected with clinical accuracy. Tight end Jake Ferguson, emerging as one of Prescott's most trusted options, was consistently finding soft spots in the Commanders' zone defense. Even Brandon Cooks, who had been quiet earlier in the year, found himself back in the mix with a crucial touchdown catch that electrified AT&T Stadium. It wasn't just an offense that looked good. It was an offense that looked complete, confident, and cohesive. And yet, this story isn't just about one game. What makes Dak's current stretch remarkable is the consistency behind it. For straight games with 3 or more touchdowns and 0 interceptions isn't a fluke. It's the product of a quarterback who has reached that rare zone where everything slows down, where every defense looks familiar, every coverage reads like an open book. Only 5 other quarterbacks have ever done this, and those 5 have all worn gold jackets, or will soon. When your name starts appearing alongside Tom Brady from his historic 2007 season or Peyton Manning's record-breaking 2013 campaign, you're doing something extraordinary. Prescott's season totals through 7 games back that up. He's now completed 185 of 259 passes, good for 1,881 yards, with 16 touchdowns against just 3 interceptions. Those are MVP-caliber numbers, and the efficiency tells the full story. Dak isn't just throwing touchdowns. He's protecting the football, extending drives, and keeping Dallas offense among the league's best despite a defense that's surprisingly underperforming. The Cowboys' defense, once feared, has stumbled badly, ranking near the bottom of the league in several key metrics. That means even more pressure has fallen on Prescott's shoulders. And instead of shrinking, he's thriving. That's what makes this resurgence so fascinating. Prescott isn't just playing well. He's doing it when his team needs him the most. Dallas' 2 ugly losses to the Chicago Bears and Carolina Panthers could have broken their momentum. Those were the kinds of games that often lead to finger-pointing, second-guessing, and locker room tension. But instead, Prescott responded like a true leader. Since that Carolina loss, he's elevated his play to a level we haven't seen since his 2020 season before the injury. The offense looks faster, more flexible, and more unpredictable, thanks in large part to Prescott's command at the line of scrimmage. There's something different about his demeanor, too. Watch him in post-game interviews, and you can see the calm. He's not just talking about stats or validation. He's talking about execution, preparation, and team chemistry. That's the language of a veteran who's been through the highs and lows and come out sharper for it. Dak has faced more public doubt than most quarterbacks of his caliber, often unfairly compared to peers who've had more consistent team support. But right now, he's not just silencing critics. He's making a statement that echoes across the league. The Cowboys' offense has transformed under this renewed version of Dak Prescott. The timing routes, the play-action passes, the pre-snap motion, everything feels intentional. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer seems to have unlocked a playbook that fits Dak's strengths perfectly. The short to intermediate game is humming, the deep shots are coming naturally, and most importantly, Prescott is making those split-second decisions that separate great quarterbacks from the good ones. Every week, he's reminding us that he belongs in the elite tier of NFL quarterbacks, not because of hype, but because of performance. What's striking is how this current stretch mirrors what we saw from some of those other quarterbacks on that historic list. In 2007, Tom Brady had Randy Moss and Wes Welker in an unstoppable rhythm. In 2013, Peyton Manning orchestrated one of the most efficient offenses in NFL history. In 2014, Aaron Rodgers was in full control, delivering strikes with machine-like precision. Dak's version of that is different, but it's just as potent in its own way. He's working with a balanced mix of veterans and young talent, and he's turning them into one of the most dangerous units in football. Still, as impressive as the numbers are, Dak knows that MVP talk means nothing without wins, and that's where the real challenge lies. The Cowboys sit in a competitive NFC landscape, where every mistake is magnified and every win matters. Dallas fans have seen hot starts before, only to watch things unravel in December or January. The question now is whether this team can sustain this level of play when it matters most. Prescott's play gives them a chance, but the defense needs to find its footing if they're going to make a real run. As the Cowboys prepare to visit the Denver Broncos next Sunday, the stakes couldn't be higher. The Broncos, under Sean Payton, have been building a reputation for toughness and discipline, a team that grinds out wins the hard way. Prescott will need to continue his streak of efficient, mistake-free football if Dallas wants to keep its playoff push alive. But if his recent performances are any indication, he's more than ready for that challenge. There's a sense of inevitability about him right now, the kind that only comes when a player truly believes in his process and his team. You can almost feel the energy shifting around the Cowboys organization. The fans who once doubted Dak's ceiling are beginning to believe again. The teammates who've always had his back are playing with new fire. And the narrative, that endless debate about whether Prescott is that guy, is slowly giving way to acceptance. Yes, he is that guy. He's proving it every Sunday, one perfect throw at a time. This moment in Dak's career feels like it could be a turning point. For years, he's been in the shadow of other quarterbacks, always good, often great, but never fully embraced as one of the league's best. Now, he's forcing everyone to see it. You don't join a list with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and Peyton Manning by accident. You get there by mastering your craft, by showing up every week and performing at a level few can reach. That's what Dak Prescott is doing right now. And as this season unfolds, it's becoming clearer by the game that he's not just chasing numbers, he's chasing legacy. Because what separates the greats from the legends isn't just the stats or the highlight reels. It's the moments when everything is on the line and the player finds a way to elevate his team. Prescott is in that space now. He's calm. He's efficient. He's dangerous. And if the Cowboys can keep building around that energy, this could be the season that redefines not only Dak Prescott's career, but the entire Dallas Cowboys narrative. When you talk about the best quarterbacks in football today, you can't leave Dak Prescott out of the conversation anymore. Not with the precision he's showing, not with the leadership he's exuding, and not with the historical company he's now keeping. He's joined an elite fraternity, and the way he's playing, he might just stay there for a while. Because this isn't a hot streak, it's evolution. Dak Prescott is proving that he's not just a good quarterback having a good run. He's an elite quarterback at the peak of his powers, leading a team that finally seems ready to follow him wherever he goes. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Hold on to your seats, folks, because the world of the NFL has just been shaken to its core. The Dallas Cowboys, one of the most storied franchises in football history, are making headlines for reasons that might just make every fan's head spin. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, but now the chatter has transformed into cold, hard reality. Jerry Jones, the iconic, larger-than-life owner and general manager of the Cowboys, has reportedly made the shocking decision to part ways with head coach Brian Schottenheimer. And the reasoning? Well, if the whispers from inside the league are to be believed, it's as blunt and as direct as Jones himself. We cannot wait. That's right, the billionaire businessman, who has been at the helm of the Cowboys since 1989 and whose fingerprints are all over the team's legacy, apparently has zero patience for the status quo, and Schottenheimer, despite his pedigree, is said to have become the latest casualty of Jerry's unyielding drive for success. The move is stunning on so many levels. Schottenheimer, who has served the Cowboys not just as head coach, but in previous years as their offensive coordinator, is widely respected in coaching circles for his strategic mind and meticulous attention to offensive schemes. His resume is impressive: stops with the New York Jets, the Seattle Seahawks, and, of course, multiple stints with the Cowboys. Analysts have long praised his ability to design plays that challenge defensive setups, and yet, insiders suggest that Jones's impatience with what he perceives as mediocre results over the last season has finally reached a tipping point. The phrase, "we cannot wait," reportedly came straight from Jones's mouth during a closed-door meeting with upper management, signaling that the owner believes the window for championship contention is narrowing and that a change at the helm is necessary immediately. If you know anything about Jerry Jones, this isn't entirely surprising. He is not the type to let history, tradition, or even fan sentiment dictate his moves. Ever since he bought the Cowboys in the late 80s, Jones has been a hands-on owner, often stepping into the general manager role and making executive decisions that range from drafting strategies to major roster shakeups. His track record is a mix of brilliance and controversy. Some of his moves have led the team to Super Bowl appearances and playoff dominance, while others have drawn criticism for being impulsive. But one thing is undeniable: when Jones decides he has had enough, he acts decisively. And according to insiders, Schottenheimer's firing fits perfectly into that pattern. Now, let's talk about the timing. It's the middle of the NFL season, and a move like this sends shockwaves not just through Dallas, but across the entire league. Coaches, players, and analysts alike are reportedly scrambling to process the news. Rumors suggest that locker room morale had become a growing concern, with subtle friction reported between Schottenheimer and some of the team's star players. While publicly the Cowboys have maintained a polished front, sources close to the situation hint at growing tensions that perhaps no amount of offensive play calling could resolve. Some insiders speculate that Jones may have been influenced by the rising frustrations among the team's core athletes, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and defensive leaders, who want a voice in shaping the team's direction, and whose patience might have been running thin with Schottenheimer's methods. And let's not forget the broader context. The Cowboys are in a fiercely competitive division, and every game carries enormous weight in the playoff race. For Jerry Jones, every missed opportunity is magnified by his vision of bringing Dallas back to its historic glory. Sources indicate that he believes Schottenheimer, for all his technical expertise, hasn't instilled the kind of winning mentality he expects from a Cowboys head coach. This is classic Jerry. He's known for holding his managers and coaches to near-impossible standards, and while it can make the organization a pressure cooker, it also forces the team to perform at elite levels. According to rumors, this firing was months in the making. Scouts and analysts have whispered for weeks about Jones's dissatisfaction, and this meeting reportedly sealed the fate of the coach once and for all. Naturally, the speculation about Schottenheimer's replacement is already reaching fever pitch. Names from across the league are being thrown into the mix, from seasoned veterans with championship experience to rising stars known for innovative offensive schemes. Industry insiders suggest that Jones is leaning towards someone who can inject immediate energy into the team, someone who can rally the locker room while simultaneously implementing a system that maximizes the talent currently on the roster. The pressure is immense. Fans, analysts, and former players alike are debating what kind of coach could satisfy Jerry's notoriously exacting standards while also delivering victories on the field. And let's be honest, if you've watched Cowboys football under Jones, you know that his decisions are rarely just about XS and OS. They are deeply intertwined with his vision of legacy, image, and the pursuit of a Super Bowl. Of course, the ripple effects of this decision extend far beyond just the Cowboys. The NFL coaching carousel is about to heat up, and teams across the league are reportedly paying close attention to the fallout in Dallas. A high-profile firing like this doesn't just affect one franchise. It can reshape strategies, influence trade talks, and even affect how players approach contract negotiations. League insiders suggest that Schottenheimer's departure might encourage other teams to reconsider their own coaching situations, especially if Jones moves quickly to secure a high-profile replacement. Some speculate that this could spark a domino effect, with multiple coaching vacancies across the league being filled before the season even concludes. It's the kind of move that reminds everyone just how much influence one owner can wield when he decides the clock is ticking. And then there's the human side of the story. Schottenheimer is widely regarded as a dedicated, thoughtful coach, someone who invests deeply in his players and staff. The whispers suggest that while the public will frame this as a purely business-driven decision, there's an undeniable personal toll as well. Behind closed doors, there's reportedly a sense of disappointment among coaches and players who respected Schottenheimer's vision, but understood that in the NFL, loyalty and results are a delicate balancing act. Rumors indicate that some former players have taken to social media, cryptically expressing their support and admiration, further fueling the narrative that this firing, while strategic, is also emotionally charged. Of course, the big question now is, what happens next? Will the Cowboys pursue a high-profile, proven head coach, or will Jerry Jones take another risk on a rising star with innovative ideas but untested results? The speculation is intense, with various insiders suggesting different scenarios, each more tantalizing than the last. Some hint at a potential return of a former coach who had previously brought glory to Dallas, while others point to a younger, offensive-minded coach who could revolutionize the team's approach. And then, of course, there's the possibility that Jones himself could step in more directly, shaking up not just the coaching staff but the overall management structure. After all, when you're Jerry Jones, nothing is ever off the table. In the meantime, Cowboys fans are left in suspense, anxiously watching every move, every press conference, every cryptic social media post. The buzz around Dallas is palpable. Rumors of secret meetings, potential candidates, and behind-the-scenes negotiations dominate sports chatter. The energy in the NFL landscape is electric, with this firing serving as the latest reminder that in Jerry Jones's world, nothing stays the same for long, and the pursuit of greatness is a relentless, often unforgiving, chase. One thing is certain. The name Brian Schottenheimer will now be forever tied to this moment in Cowboys history. Whether he lands on his feet with another team or takes some time away from the game, the whispers in league circles suggest he will be watched closely. And as for Jerry Jones, he remains the indomitable force at the heart of the Cowboys empire, a man unafraid to make waves, to shake up the status quo, and to remind everyone that in the NFL, the clock is always ticking, and the window for glory waits for no one. So, buckle up, because if the rumors are true, and all signs point to them being more than just whispers, the Cowboys are entering a new chapter, one filled with uncertainty, drama, and the unmistakable Jerry Jones touch that has defined this franchise for decades. The next few weeks could reshape the team, the division, and perhaps even the trajectory of the NFL itself, all triggered by one simple, unyielding message from the man at the top. We cannot wait. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.